Hello and welcome to WD18, the Watford fan channel. It's finished Watford 1, Brentford 1. It's another match reaction. I'll be giving my thoughts on what was a really eventful evening at Vicarage Road. A lot to dissect, a lot to look at. From Watford's performance to how good Brentford I thought were in the first half, how poor we were in the first half, the officials, the penalty. There's a lot to cover. But before we do get into it, guys, if you do enjoy the video, please do leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to WD18 and turn on your post notifications so you never miss an upload. And let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Right, we'll start with the lineup as we always do. I was disappointed not to see Stipe Perica start. I thought after the 20-minute cameo he did against Birmingham City, coming on winning the penalty, I thought he should have been rewarded with a start. I believe he is one of the best strikers we have at the football club, if not the best in terms of movement. I think he just creates opportunities, and as we saw when he came on in the second half, he makes things happen. So I was surprised to see that he didn't start. It looked like Watford reverted to a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-3-3 in possession, which saw Sarr coming in on the right-hand side. Wilmot was dropped for Cabasele at centre-half. And I thought we were going to be on the front foot, and we weren't that. That first half was absolutely shocking, in all honesty. And I don't really blame the players. Before you go, why not? Here's why. Clearly, the way we set up in that first half was down to how Vladimir Ivic approached the game. There's no way the Watford players chose to drop that deep in a low block. There's no way the Watford players chose to have 33% possession in the first half. That is simply not good enough, unfortunately. The way Vladimir Ivic approached the game for me was wrong. Yes, Brentford are a very good footballing side. Yes, they'll move the ball well. But that doesn't mean that we can look to press higher, look to push up the pitch. We were far, far too deep for me. Far too deep in that first half. And ultimately, Brentford should have been 2-0 up going into half-time. Really, really deep. I mean, Sarr and Ken Sema were effectively extra defenders, almost wing-backs. We had a back four and then almost a back six with how far deep Sarr and Ken Sema were in that first half. It was ridiculous. And then James Garner was almost playing as a second striker. Troy was having to drop so deep. You saw the touch map if you were watching at home on the Sky Sports analysis. I mean, I think he didn't even have a touch in the box. I think it may have been one or so. The rest were just spread out all over the pitch, and the only chance we did have was Ismaila Sarr in the first half, where he had that nice turn, got the shot on target. It was unlucky. It was always going to be difficult when his momentum's going the other way, and he got the shot off. But apart from that, Watford did not trouble Brentford at all, and all credit to Brentford. They were the better team by far in that first half. And ultimately, if that continued into the second, we would have lost this game today. But it was almost Jekyll and Hyde again from Watford. We seemed to start slowly under Vladimir Ivic. In the second half, we did raise our game. Clearly, he had changed the approach at half-time, because within a minute or so, we were playing on the front foot, we were playing higher, we were looking to press, and getting our foot in the tackles. That's what we were missing in that first half. We were not closing down quick enough. In that second half, we were doing that, and that's what impressed me. We were getting to the second balls, particularly in that first 15-20 minutes. We were pressing higher, the intensity was better, the tempo was better, and we were looking to create. Sarr was making some really good runs, I thought, at kind of the first period of that second half. What I noticed in that second half was Vladimir Ivic was looking to switch Sema and Sarr from each side, because Rico Henry is a fantastic fullback, arguably the best left-back in this league. And I thought he did really well with Sarr, to be honest with you. And yes, I think we were a little bit passive in the midfield throughout tonight, really. I think Chalobah, Cleverley and Garner just isn't a very combative, dynamic midfield, unfortunately. When Capoue came on, you saw the difference in performance. The level was increased. He was picking up the ball from deep, spreading balls. We were driving with the ball further forward. And you can tell the midfielders around him just had a lot more confidence on the ball, particularly Cleverley. You know, when we switched to a 4-2-4 almost, or 4-4-2, however you want to look at it, you could tell Cleverley was just a bit more confident on the ball. I think we need to be starting Capoue. Have to be starting Capoue. And I think I would want to bring in Perica as well. And we'll touch on his disallowed goal in a minute, which was incredible how that was disallowed. But our goal came through a runner in behind. And we've said it how many times with Ismaila Sarr. Every single Watford fan, you get the best out of him when he makes runs in behind. Just in that channel between the left back and the left centre-back, he made a brilliant run through. There's been a bit of debate about whether Sarr was onside, I think particularly from a Brentford perspective. For me, from the angle we were given at home, it looked like Ismaila Sarr was onside. It was a very tight call. But it looked onside to me, and the penalty decision was a penalty, 100% a penalty, and he was the last man. So it probably is a red card, in all honesty. I know there's a double jeopardy rule where if there's a real attempt to play the ball, then you cannot give a red card, even if it is the last man. But yes, it was accidental, but for me, it looked like a red card. He was the last man, and whether it was accidental or not, there wasn't a significant attempt to play the ball. So he was the last man, had to be a red card, had to be a penalty. And for me, Ismail Assar was onside, but it was a tight call, very tight call. But a great run from Ismail Assar, won the penalty. I know there was confusion over which Brentford player was going to be sent off. Just an absolute shambles, really, from the officials tonight, from start to finish. Some of the decisions they were giving, particularly in that second half, was just absolutely baffling. Troy smashed it down the middle, as we all expect. What a man. Been a brilliant week for him with off-the-pitch stuff, with Paul and Aidan Hogan, who've had a difficult period, and he put a brilliant tweet out before the game, and it was a class act on and off the pitch. I actually thought he played pretty well today, Troy. I think he was always going to struggle on his own in that system, particularly in the first half. But I think he was doing his defensive duties really well, and he's very good at that. For me, we struggled today because of the midfield. I think the midfield has to be improved and looked at from Vladimirovic, because we were just so passive in that first half. I know that's the way we set up. We had no conviction on the game, no real tempo in the midfield. We were giving the ball away so much. And ultimately, that did improve in the second half when Capoue came on. I just think Garner's really struggling at the moment in an advanced role. He needs to be either off or playing deeper for me. I think we need to bring in Capoue, regardless of whether he's going to be off in January. We need to get him into that starting lineup, because what Capoue gives you is someone who's technically brilliant on the ball, gets his foot in, interceptions, ball recoveries. He's got it all for a Premier League midfielder, let alone a Championship midfielder. So we need to get him back into the starting lineup. But just going back onto the penalty, Ismail Assar won it, Troy Deeney scored it, and you're thinking, at 1-0, right, Watford, they're down to 10 men. Let's not let this slip now. You know, we've been defensively brilliant all season, one of the best defences in the league, and within 3 minutes, we give away a penalty. Christian Kabasele, no arguments from me. It was a penalty. His hands were in an unnatural position. The argument is, well, yes, he was only about 5 yards away from him, but with the laws nowadays, that is a penalty kick, unfortunately. And Ivan Toney, credit to him, and he was a threat all night, wasn't he, for Brentford? He tucked it away into the bottom right-hand corner, cool as you like, sent Foster the wrong way. And Watford were kind of trying to chase the game a little bit from then. I think Brentford realised when they got that goal, they were content with the point. Watford huffed and puffed, and we managed to get a goal. Unfortunately, it was disallowed. Again, a shocking decision from the linesman. He wasn't even in line with the play. If you actually watch it back, Paritza is actually behind the linesman. So he's making a call when he's not even in line with the play. You can see the line of grass where the official's standing, and Paritza's actually behind that line. So it was so obvious that was a legitimate goal. But the positive that I take from that goal was the movement from Stipe Paritza, the way he made that run across the front post. That is what we lack sometimes. And I think with the two up top with Deeney and Paritza, they complement each other really well. Troy said it in his recent post-match interview that they have an understanding of each other's games. And I think those two, if they play from the start together, I do believe they'll get us goals, guys. I really do believe that. And Stipe Paritza's movement when he came on again was really encouraging. But overall, how do I assess Watford's performance? First half, incredibly disappointing with the way Vladimirovic approached the game. I completely understand the threat that Brentford posed with a very strong midfield, with the likes of De Silva. He was running the game in the first half, I thought. Their midfield three was playing really well because we were giving them the space to do that. Now, I understand he was probably trying to reduce that space in the midfield, but we were getting absolutely bulldozed in that first half with Ivan Toney's movement as well. I mean, we should have really been 2-0 down. So first half again, you know, this is the big thing I've taken from Vladimirovic during his time at Watford is we start games slowly. And the way he approached that first half was Quique Sanchez-Flores-esque in his second spell. So deep. And I was very jealous of the way Brentford approached that first half. You know, they were moving off the ball brilliantly. They were passing the ball well. They looked a constant threat going forward. And I was actually very jealous because it reminded me of us under Jokanovic, the way they were popping the ball around. But we allowed them to do that. And that is not acceptable, really. We need to be on the front foot. And it's very difficult to maintain that over 90 minutes. But we need to be on it from the start. And Brentford, to be fair, should have been 2 up, as I said, and they should have really put away their chances. And I think they'll be coming away disappointed that they didn't go into half-time with a 2-0 lead. But the second half, credit to Watford, credit to Vladimirovic. There was a change. There was a change in tempo. There was a change in intensity. But that has to be from the start because there's going to be games this season. We've got Norwich. We've got the likes of Swansea coming up. They will not give us the opportunity to do that. Brentford, I think, as I said, we'll look back on it and go, that's a missed opportunity because other sides, if we did that in the Premier League, we'd get put away. And there's certain sides in this Championship which will put us away if we don't do better. Busy period coming up. The content will be coming thick and fast here on WD18. Guys, if you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to WD18. We'll be back for some more videos ahead of the Huddersfield game. Reaction, as always, after all the games here on WD18. So please do leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And we'll see you very soon.